So I always like doing these raw, real rants, raws, videos from time to time. Just no notes, no production value, just like the raw emotion. That's something that I'm passionate about. And today, Kirk Cousins, right? So Kirk Cousins has been a polarizing figure within the fan base ever since he signed that record-breaking contract in 2018. 3 years, $84 million, fully guaranteed. Cool. And then the extension, 2 years, $66 million guaranteed, helping him making him the ninth highest paid athlete in the world in Todo El Mundo. Like, really? Kirk Cousins? It's weird. But have you changed your opinion on him since he come in? Because I still have a little bit of hesitation. You know, the money, meh. But I think I really have changed my tune about Kirk Cousins, right? So first off, Kirk Cousins. We came into Washington, 4th-round pick. Palace Coup took over RG3's job when he was injured and ineffective. So Kirk Cousins coming on in, system quarterback. And I always thought when he was in Washington before he signed with the Vikings that here's a guy that when everything is on schedule, when he has this amazing offensive line in front of him, when he has great weapons on the outside, he can do some damage, right? Like Kirk Cousins can be borderline top 10, top 12-ish type quarterback. As well as you look at his time in Washington, he worked with Kyle Shanahan and the elder Shanahan, working with a lot of Gary Kubiak concepts there, by the way, back in the day. As well as Sean McVay was the quarterback's coach / offense coordinator there for a number of years. Jay Gruden, he's a terrible head coach, but he's no slouch on the offensive side of the ball. So he was surrounded by all these great offensive minds. He had one of the best offensive lines in all of football, anchored by Trent Williams. Yeah, remember the Trent Williams thing? That seems like that was 5 years ago. But when he is well protected, when everything is on time, when he doesn't have to improvise, when he has a clean pocket, he can do great things, right? And you saw that under peak Sean McVay. Kirk Cousins' performance was one of the big reasons why Sean McVay eventually got a head coaching job as soon as he did in Los Angeles. So respect where it's due there. Now, you saw with Kirk Cousins in Washington, where Daniel Snyder has never been shy about throwing money around at jabronis, right? You look at Albert Hainsworth, you look at the Adam Archuleta deal, you look at Curtis Conway, Antoine Randall, like the corpse of Bruce Smith coming into Washington, just throwing money all over the place. But the one guy that Daniel Snyder refused to give a long-term big money deal to was Kirk Cousins, where they played the franchise tag game for a couple of years. And shouldn't that be a red flag right away? Because of how messed up Washington was as a franchise, everyone gave Kirk the benefit of the doubt, and maybe rightfully so. But the one guy that Daniel Snyder, who spends money like a drunken sailor on leave in port, the one guy that he is like, Kirk, I don't know. So when the Vikings were flirting around with him, when they offered him the 3-year, $84 million deal, I was kind of like, okay, it's precedent setting, fully guaranteed deal, never been done before, as well as you're vaulting him as one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. I understand that free agency, I mean, that's the cost of doing business. Like, free agency is a tax on teams who can't draft well, right? And also, it had never happened before that a franchise quarterback in his prime, so discounting Peyton Manning after he went to the Colts to the Broncos, had never hit free agency before, because there's a reason. Teams hang on to guys that are the guy, right? And even borderline the guys. You look at Andy Dalton, etc. So initially I was like, all right, sticker shock once that wore off. Oh, okay, this is going to cost the Vikings the ability to hang on to some other free agents. I get it. It happens. It's whatever. So 2018, when he throws for that 4,300 yards as well as 30 touchdowns, but his yards per attempt was like 7.1. And you look back and it's like, okay, sure, fantasy-wise, and again, like the guys that are really stumping for Kirk Cousins were fantasy football guys, right? So look at Paul Charchian, who's been waving the Kirk Cousins flag ever since day one. But yeah, you cannot tell me for a second that 2018, under John DeFilippo, under that bad offensive line, that helter-skelter, always playing from behind offense, like you're telling me that Kirk Cousins had a great season 2018? No. It was a cut and paste of what happened in Washington years before, where it was stat stuffing in garbage time, never winning a game of consequence, never winning in prime time, never doing well against teams with a winning record, nothing like that, right? So the fact that people were saying the black and white stats, it's the third best quarterback season in Vikings history, or whatever it was. It's like, okay, sure, completely out of context, completely black and white stats, sure. But you cannot tell me for a second from the eyeball test that you will be completely sold about Kirk Cousins in 2018, right? Enter 2019. So now, 2018, Kirk felt like he was like the new kid at school, where just all these cliques are already established. He was trying to fit in. It's like, well, I'm the leader now. You like that? You like that? Yeah. All right. So 2019, I feel like Kirk Cousins was really starting to come into his own a little bit, where it was starting to become his offense. He was starting to become a little bit more assertive. I think Stefanski and Kubiak did a phenomenal job with Kirk. And also, with Stefanski, who was the quarterback's coach in 2018, no one knew Kirk Cousins better in that building than Kevin Stefanski. Respect where it's due. I think it was a good reason why he got the Browns job. And as you saw, peak Kirk Cousins is amazing. So even with an offensive line that was even though obviously his pocket awareness doesn't do the offensive line any favors, but Kubiak Stefanski running the ball first, a lot of play action. Kirk is one of the best play action quarterbacks in the league. Well, what quarterback doesn't benefit from play action, but you know what I mean. As well as bootlegs, moving the pocket, getting Kirk out in space, and keeping things on schedule as much as possible downfield. It greatly benefited Kirk Cousins. Like, he really blew up in October, NFC Offensive Player of the Week, as well as Kirk Cousins finally winning some big games. He beat Dallas. He made a really good showing in the Seattle game. Well, you could look at the Chicago and Green Bay games and maybe not so much. Like, he basically gave away that Green Bay game and didn't show up against Chicago. But again, whatever there. New Orleans wild card weekend. No one giving the Vikings a chance going down there. You like that? Kirk Cousins, greatest game of his career. Wild card win, playoff win numero uno for Kirk Cousins. And you're starting to see that swagger. You're starting to see that angry Kirk. And I love the angry Kirk. Angry Kirk can win you football games. Not so much, the milk toast, skim milk drinking, pizza ranch provocateur, tin pot, sleep number dictator, that whole thing. That not so much. The polished PR Kirk Cousins, who's basically like a robot android. He's like that. He's like that congressman from Parks and Rec, where he's like the robot, where he just sits in the office. Yeah, like that. You know what I'm talking about. So Kirk Cousins last year, he got a little angry, and him talking about his podcast again. What is a podcast? But you can tell. And athletes will never admit this, but they absorb a lot more media and social media than they lead on, right? So they hear everything. So the fact that the media is trashing Kirk Cousins as this overpaid, effete, ineffectual, soft penis debutante, and it's like, oh, wait, hold on. This makes me a little bit angry. He's going to go Bruce Banner on this beat, right? So finally, Kirk Cousins started playing some great ball. And also, degree of difficulty was up there. He had some injuries on the O-line. Well, maybe Elfline off the field was actually addition by subtraction. But that defense completely fell off the map, as well as you lost Adam Jerome, Ezekiel Thielen for a number of weeks in the middle of the season. And even when he came back, he wasn't the same guy. So you're thinking, but it still worked out. And Kirk Cousins now heading into 2020, I think the Vikings were right to give him that extension. And now I think that Cousins has always been a guy that you could win a Super Bowl with. Like, if he reduced the amount of bad Kirk that was on the field and had a couple of moments of brilliance, then you could win, right? You could win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins. Now, I actually think that Kirk Cousins is starting to round into a guy, maybe not a guy that you win a Super Bowl because, but more it's part and parcel. Like, he's one of the big reasons why you do win the Super Bowl. Because, in fact, the longtime flirtation with Kyle Shanahan, who worked with Cousins in Washington so swimmingly, him and San Francisco, if Kirk Cousins was on the Niners in the Super Bowl last season, the Niners win that Super Bowl. The Niners beat the Chiefs. Like, Kirk Cousins hits that deep post route to Emmanuel Sanders that Jimmy Garoppolo cannot. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo is what Kirk Cousins used to be. Just massively overpaid, just does not get it done, needs everything to be perfect around him. Check, to do well, right? Now, Kirk Cousins, he's still a bit that guy, right? He's still up there in terms of quarterback salary. He's still a guy that really does greatly benefit from great offensive line, great offensive coaches, great weapons on the outside, as well as a great defense across from him to back him up, right? But I think that Kirk, now on the north side of 30, is starting to become that dude. Now, I just hope and pray that since it's 2020 now, he got that extension. He's the de facto GM of the Vikings. He's a Tim Pot Pizza Ranch dictator. He got rid of Diggs. He had a big part in terms of selecting the offensive personnel You look at bringing Jefferson. You look at bringing in, who else are they bringing? As well as drafting Ezra Cleveland. So now they're trying to get him some help on the offensive side of the ball. It's his team. And I want Kirk to carry on the angry Kirk that we've seen, because there are many different Kirks out there. There's good Kirk, there's bad Kirk. I've had my share, and as well as angry Kirk. Angry Kirk and good Kirk are like this. They're tied at the hip. They're highly correlated. So I want Kirk to come into this season where he's clearly the guy now on offense. He's clearly the captain. He's clearly the leader. He's clearly the heart and soul of his team. He is the franchise as of right now. So I want him to come in with absolute swagger and absolutely just put it on the table. It's like, hey, MFers, look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. Good old employee number 8. Follow me. Give me time. Catch my balls. I throw the best deep ball in the league, by the way. And we will win a Super Bowl. We will go down to Tampa. We will rip the hearts out of the Chiefs. Revenge for Super Bowl 4. Yeah, let her keep chucking the ball down there. And follow me to the promised land. I want Kirk Cousins to do that. It would be completely against character, except I would love it. Like, you take this completely milquetoast stock character caricature of what it means to be an absolute prime meridian skim milk mofo, and just have him just rip it up. Be like, I'm going to be that dude. I got my swagger for the first time ever. Follow me. We're going to win a Jerome Barty down there. I want to see that Kirk Cousins, right? Hands ball off to Dalvin. Dalvin gets 2,000 yards from scrimmage. But when they do run that play action, 7-step drop, to 19, to number 18, to BC Johnson, to Irv Smith Jr. I don't care. Hit that up. Be that dude. And that's what I have changed my mind about Kirk, especially after that first season. I wasn't sold. I'm starting to be sold now. Just get after it, Kirk. All right, but your thoughts. Have you changed your mind on Kirk Cousins? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, pull us on the Venmo. Plus give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skull, production value.